Ah,
Rock and roll. Welcome, or actually, I guess welcome for me. I'm in your space today. This is new. This is I don't usually go to people's things.
Oh, usually people come to you.
Usually people come to me or
Oh,
we do
okay,
it
cool.
remotely. So
Well,
this
we'll
is
come
great.
to your spot next time.
Thank you. This is my temporary home today.
Or
And
it can become your permanent.
hey, we were
Remote
definitely going to talk about
office.
that. I'm moving in, guys. Here we go. Me and the party guys. Just we need a place in the corner. That's it.
You're more than welcome to come over.
As you can see, my faithful co-host here, Party Cock, is with us, of course. And more importantly, my guest today, guys, Vince, Priscilla,
Yes.
Maison XS. I was trying to say, is it the French? Is it like?
It is.
Please explain to me how it came about that.
How the name came about?
Yeah.
Initially, when this concept came about, wanted to give the house a name. You know, we wanted to list it on Airbnb, and I had stayed at a house one time in St. John, and the villa had a name. You know, you name your houses,
Sure.
right? Like,
Were you talking about St. John, the U.S. Virgin Islands, by
Yeah,
chance?
yeah.
I spent many
Yeah.
years there. Yeah.
So I'm like, you know what? Like, if we're putting it on Airbnb, we need to brand it something. Give it like a name, cachet. And instead of just like a house for rent.
Yeah.
I'm in the advertising and marketing business, and we started coming up with names. And one of the first names that came out was like Villa Rouge, which is like red, rouge, French,
Yeah.
give it that sexy kind of feeling. And a buddy of mine who's a creative director, a brilliant creative director, no names, Kevin.
We'll link it up.
We'll call him Kevin.
Kevin.
All right. Kevin was in love with this concept and put his heart into it and really wanted to see it materialize into something. And he kept thinking, and we were like, as a creative directors, or creatives in general, right?
Sure.
You're always out thinking.
Absolutely.
It never stops. And next morning, he goes, I got a name for you. And he goes, Maison XS. And it stopped me.
Yeah.
Right? And Maison is house in French. And he goes, excess, sex, backwards.
Yeah.
And I
Sometimes-
look at him and I'm like, oh my fucking God.
It's brilliant.
You are a fucking genius, right?
Seriously.
And I go, I just built out MXS, right? Like he and I were just like bouncing ideas and
Yeah.
whatnot. I like sold. I'm done. I don't have to even, like, you nailed it, dude.
Easy.
And that's where the name came from. It's kind of the house that will turn sex around, the way we look at sex,
Yeah.
right? The taboo of sex.
Right.
This is the house that will turn things around, hopefully, where people will kind of appreciate each other's sexuality versus being suppressed. It's beautiful to see people just like come out and discover who they are.
Yeah.
We went through that journey
Yes.
ourselves.
And through that journey, I assume that's at what point did you say, you know what we need to do? We need to buy a house, and we need to give other people a safe space to do this in.
It wasn't like that. Like,
Yeah.
It was very organic. It was from one creative project, and then the house came about. We had this Airbnb project that we started with which would be just like a rental on Airbnb with a sexy room with a
Theme.
sexy theme on it, and from there it became like
It was her idea.
Maison
Yeah.
XS.
The story of the house started really after I lost my late wife and wanted to sell the house after she passed away.
I'm sorry.
Meanwhile, no worries. And meanwhile, I had a few months later, I met Priscilla. The time to sell the house was a little too late to list on the market. My sister has an Airbnb and also a rental, and her Airbnb was making better return with less occupancy than her regular rental. I'm like, okay, like why not list it on Airbnb instead of renting it And she goes, like, who the fuck is gonna write an Airbnb an Ambler, right? It needs a theme. I'm like, okay, go on. She's Brazilian. She goes, well, in Brazil we have these sex motels.
Do you really?
Yeah.
Hotel,
And it's
yeah.
completely like normal. Like
Yeah.
people like,
It's that long
they get,
hotel,
I've been to
yeah.
Brazil. It's hysterical.
I've
Like,
never been to Brazil.
it's so accepted in their society
Oh,
that
wow.
sex motel, and they're like she was showing me
Nice.
pictures. She was all she had to do was just like show me pictures,
Yeah.
and I'm like, they're dope.
Oh,
I mean, they're like sexy as fuck. Like
Yeah.
they're beautiful.
Preparing for
And
Brazil.
inspired you.
Yeah.
I'm like, yeah, but the fact that it's accepted in their society as something, yeah, just go to sex motel. You know, like,
Yeah.
they go on dates, and after the date, they end up at a sex motel.
So it's none of
To
that
have a
seedy
good
like
time.
No,
hotel,
no.
motel.
It's dope. It's really
5 miles from the airport.
love that.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it's not like that at all.
Oh wow.
So I'm like, okay. She didn't think I would, consider it.
Okay.
No, as a sexy room,
But a sexy room?
Yeah,
Just
sexy
one
room.
one room?
Yeah,
Just one room.
Just
That's
one
what
room.
I thought.
Just one room.
One room.
One room.
Enough.
You're like, no, we need a whole house.
Yeah, we need the whole house. So
His head just like.
You planted the seed. It's like, oh,
she planted the seed, and I'm like, you know what? You're onto something.
Go big or go home.
We personally come from like her marriage, for 16 years, and my marriage for 27 years. Our lifestyle was just like normal. Everybody,
Very vanilla.
what a very traditional.
Yeah.
When we lost our partners, we went,
Cool.
crazy.
Yeah.
Right?
Kind of worried.
Or like,
The
fuck it,
floodgates opens.
you got nothing left to lose.
Yeah, like what,
So
what are we gonna do at this point?
Everything is.
Fuck it, you're like balls deep. Let's
Yeah,
just
yeah.
fucking live.
Sometimes literally.
Meanwhile, we were exploring our sexuality as well, and trying to figure out our way into the lifestyle.
Okay.
And we were inspired by a few places that we appreciated the energy. We started to study up on the furniture and apparatuses and all that stuff. Explore. Just talk to people. See what they're into. Just doing our research, basically.
I assume you went down some of the more traditional avenues, like FetLife and all that stuff.
Not really.
Good. It can be accessible.
No, not really. The opportunity was there for us to do it, and we did sign up, but we were not like power users or active users.
Yeah.
Our style was more about being open versus underground.
Acceptable, yeah.
Yeah.
We had nothing to hide. We were inspired by like people like the first cross-dresser that walked the streets of New York 50 years ago
Yeah.
and said, here's who I am, I don't give a fuck.
Right.
And that changed our philosophy and our acceptance to the gay. They were the first to, come out and be proud.
Yeah.
We believe that there's nothing to hide, like there's nothing to be ashamed of. That's who you are. Yeah, we can be deviant. Yeah, you can be this, it can be that. We all live on different spectrums. But understanding why we go through these things or how we end up there is a beautiful story behind it. Even though like it's maybe like caused by a shitload of trauma, which we all go through trauma,
Yeah.
right?
I haven't met a single person in this lifestyle who isn't processing some kind of trauma.
Everybody's processing trauma, and I think
Very
our
much so, yeah.
our sex help. If we explore our sexuality in a little bit much more open format, where we're not ashamed, we're not being shamed, we're not being judged, we're accepted, and felt like we're loved.
Yeah.
I think we heal immediately.
Oh yeah.
All those demons that we suffer from sort of go away, and you feel a little bit much more free and you're confident, and you know who the fuck you are now.
Yeah.
Like, I didn't know who I was.
Yeah.
I had no idea. Like, I know I'm straight. But I had my dick sucked by a guy once just to see, like, to verify or not.
Hey.
Okay, like it wasn't.
They
Like,
say
okay,
no
all right.
preference,
Like my
right.
dick went down, right?
Yeah,
It went, boom, and I was like, okay, verified. You know, like,
yeah, exactly.
all right, I got an anal hook up my ass. I don't nothing. It's an exit only, right?
Yeah.
But fuck it, you know, like, what is it gonna feel? What do people feel when they get it?
You gotta experiment. You
It
gotta
hurt like a
experiment.
motherfucker,
You're
but
not-
still.
not- did you? I have to ask. This
Yeah.
is personally relevant too because I just recently experimented with some stuff, but I didn't go for anal hooks. But
Fine.
did you're like amateur? Did you go right to the anal hook or did you work your way up to it?
There's no working. No. This was I lost the bet.
Oh.
And the loser gets an anal hook up their ass.
Wow.
So it became an event that everybody showed up to see this fucking
see the
thing
punishment,
go
yeah.
up my ass.
Wow.
And my friends tried to help me out.
Yeah.
I asked them for advice. I asked everybody for advice, and everybody said relax and breathe.
Yeah,
I'm like, fuck, relax and breathe.
Just let it happen. Just let it happen.
Yeah, I didn't either. I couldn't breathe, nor I did relax. But anyhow, it was a fun experience. I don't know. I love to experience things that I got roped once. I hated it. I hate pain, but tried it just to see what the fuck it feels like.
Absolutely.
Fire play.
How do you feel about fire play?
I was impressed by the fact, other than the smell of the burnt hair, honestly, it felt like hot stones on your body.
Yeah.
You know, like it wasn't.
Kind of relaxing.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it felt great. To be honest with you.
Same kind of experience for me.
Right?
I've only tried it like twice. The first time freaked me out. The second time, I felt like I was with somebody who was a little more confident in what they were doing.
Right.
Made me feel better about it. And it was the same thing. It was like I felt the hair singeing, and it was like,
Right.
okay, well, it is what it is. You know,
Right.
it's fire.
Right.
But it did feel so relaxing on the muscles, and it was just that intensity, and then it just kind of mellowed. So I don't know how often I do it, but I would do it again.
Yeah, it's not a common thing that that you have in your house where people are just letting you up. But it's worth trying if there's a place where somebody, someone you know.
Well, I mean, the same thing with anything in the kink world. If it's one thing to kind of experiment with your partner at home, it's another to we're going to engage in this sort of more extreme behavior.
Right.
And what's the safest way to do that? You're not just. I would hope at least that people are doing a little research, like how do you choke someone safely? Like how do you use this? How do you use that? You're gonna use rope for the first time. Great. What do I need to know? Because personally, I know more than the average person about rope, and it's certainly something you have to be cognizant of.
Of course.
But not many people know that. I'm shocked actually to find the amount. It's usually the younger crowd that is like, oh, I'm just gonna tie myself up. I'm like, whoa, hold on.
Yeah.
Let's study some anatomy first because we have to learn where your nerves and arteries are because this could be dangerous.
Totally.
So it's a very much that conversation of like, okay, how much do you really know? How much do you think you know? And then please tell me what you think you know so I can either say, oh, that's right, or help you find the right way to do it.
Sure.
And I mean, there's a million reasons it could have happen.
I don't know, I've seen religions where people that follow religions self-mutilate with no guidance whatsoever.
Frightening.
So whether it's sexual or not, your decision to do whatever it is to your bodies, honestly, is up to you. And like we all have our experiences and we make mistakes. And I completely agree. You can hurt yourself, sure, but you're responsible for yourself. And yes, you should be informed, educated, especially when you do impact play. We're not into impact play per se. Everybody thinks we are because of the furniture, all the stuff. She just read a comment on Reddit of somebody that was doing research about the house, and they don't have much to learn. There's not a lot to learn out there about the house.
Yeah.
You have to do your research. You have to find it.
Well, I mean, your tagline is...
We're shadow banned. I mean, I'm telling you, like the Instagram is like, yeah, lock this account down.
I found you guys on Instagram.
Yeah, you have to do some tricks to get into visible, but any content that we put out, hashtags don't work at all. Like it's like dead.
I feel
if
like
people are not sharing our content, nobody's gonna see it. Only the followers see our content.
Somebody I know must have shared your content then, because I definitely saw.
Or it's an ad.
Or it's an ad.
Yeah,
Either
we.
way it worked.
Yeah, yeah.
That
You have to.
attention.
You have to sometimes, do what you have to do to get. And it's unfortunate because, again, like even Instagram. Yes, granted, our content could be a little bit on the sexy side, but the misunderstanding of what it represents and what it's about and how it's supposed to heal. Yes, sex is, that's why we're here on fucking earth, right?
Sure.
Is to have sex, is to procreate.
Right. Or to have fun trying.
Exactly. And if you can do it in a fun, friendly, safe, secure space where everybody around you is your friend, oh my God, the feeling is
so much better.
Oh.
So much better.
Oh my God, yeah.
Yeah. I remember being at my first party that I really didn't know anybody.
Mm-hmm.
And I didn't even know it was that kind of party either.
Right.
I was invited before I was ever in the lifestyle. Girl I was dating at this time, I kind of found out later, was more into it than I was. This is ages ago. And I'd never even experienced anything like this, aside from maybe coming across the random porn online that had some kind of BDSM or kink to it. I didn't really think about it, I didn't know about it, whatever. We go to this party, and I realized that a lot of people are being just really affectionate with each other. I'm like, okay, maybe it's just like that crowd that they all know each other really well or whatever. I had no idea. And suddenly I turned around, someone just put a leash around my girlfriend's neck and handed me, I'm like, what? What's going on?
Sure.
I'm like, did you know this was this kind of thing? And she's like, I didn't really think about it. I didn't think to tell you. I just came to the party. I'm like, well, let's have fun while we're here. I mean, shit, it's a good time. And we had, nothing crazy happened, and nobody was out having sex in the open. It was just a lot of people vibing with each other.
That's awesome.
And it was great. But then, you can see people dip in and out of the rooms to kind of do it more privately.
Yeah.
And this was, I'm 44 now. This is probably back in my 20s, and people are still learning and exploring that.
Sure.
And going to your topic of living more out loud, living more without shame of who you are, what you do. I wear the glasses and everything because I want to protect my persona more so for my family's sake than my own. But I don't try and hide it per se. It's like if people recognize me, they recognize me. I hope they'll be cool about it. Right. If they're not, fuck.
Would you hide yourself if you were gay, for example?
No.
So why is our kinks something that we cannot be more comfortable sharing? 9 out of 10 people have a kink.
Yeah. As we know.
So there's more of us than there is that one motherfucker that screams the loudest is keeping all the 9 quiet, right? We're hoping to be the one that's not quiet about it. Okay. Maybe today it's not the time, but maybe 50 years from now, everybody will be like, yeah, I'm this, I'm that, and
maybe
it's normal. Okay, and
Yeah.
it's normal. No different than I'm sure many people with different labels were discriminated against, whether from your color, your gender, we have that, right?
Oh yeah.
And people get fired for all the wrong reasons because of who they are. Being a sexual deviant, as we call it, you're not a sexual deviant, you're fucking human. Okay?
Right.
And you're processing your sexuality at your own terms. If you like to get gangbanged, so what? Good for you.
Yeah.
If you like to get spanked a little bit, the thing is that we need to start questioning is, okay, tell me why you like to be spanked.
Right.
Okay?
Yeah.
Now when I understand why, and you explain it to me, I'll tolerate it, versus me not understanding what you're talking about, or having my perception, oh, you're weird, you're a freak, or whatever. No, I'm not. I'm just like you. I just like to, whatever. It's.
Yeah. But it's a culture here, I believe.
I think it's everywhere, right?
No, I think there are other places that are
accepting,
and it's not a big deal. Everybody respects your justification for who you are, unless interfering with them. But when it's just, I don't know, here just people make a big deal about sexuality. taboo and it's just.
Where is it not taboo?
In Brazil, it's not. In Brazil, it's really not. In Europe, I've heard that it's really not.
I have some friends in Europe who've both from different parts, and they've told me the same thing. It's more relaxed.
Yeah.
People don't seem to care as much. It just depends on how it involves itself in your life and the people you hang out with. You know, is it predominantly like you're not going out in the middle of your neighborhood and shouting, "I'm a sexual deviant." Like that's no.
You don't have to.
And it's
You
not
don't
a
have to.
deviant, yes.
Yeah. You're just simply going out and you're putting yourself out there and not trying to hide. And
Yeah, there's
that's,
nothing to
I think
hide.
that's great. I think that's fantastic.
I have more. Not that I don't have. We don't. Listen, everybody has their reasons, and your privacy is. We're private in our own life too. Like we don't disclose everything, and everybody's like imagining what our life is about.
Sure.
But at the same time, there's a balance where, okay, you know who I am, but that's like there's an end where you now have to know us on a personal level to know exactly who we are.
Yeah.
You know, where you experience the things that we may experience, or be part of that. And our lifestyle, I think, is no different from anybody out there. We have things that we like that others do too. And we say we're part of this thing that should be mainstream, will be mainstream at some point.
It's certainly more mainstream now than it was even 5 or 10 years ago.
Yeah.
Yes, exactly right. I mean, now you go on the HGTV,
Yeah.
they have designers telling you how to design your basement in a dungeon.
Sex,
Yeah.
Fuck yeah,
Yeah.
about fucking time.
Yeah.
You know, like
I was surprised.
hell
at that,
yeah,
I thought it was a gag at first. I thought it
whatever.
was a
Like
gag.
yes. Fuck yeah. Like
Yeah.
don't be afraid, don't be ashamed. Like yeah, I am. And you may inspire others to come out.
Absolutely.
Is that, oh yeah, you're into this? Oh
Yeah.
cool. You know, like we can talk about it over lunch.
Sure.
Let's
Sure.
let's do our work
Let's-
first, and then
let's-
we can
yeah.
talk
Yeah.
about roping.
Let's
And,
table the shibari.
Yeah.
Yeah.
yeah, like what's the difference?
Yeah. I was meeting with a group of friends unrelated to the lifestyle not long ago. We were talking about putting together a little like production collective thing, and I mentioned that hey, I have this other project going on, and my buddy was like, I know you were into some kinky shit. I'm like, yeah, I just didn't. I don't talk to you about everything, you know. Like if people confront me about it or say something about it in a way that like, hey, we're friends, we're talking. I was like, oh, I didn't realize you were that. Yeah, it's just I don't talk about it all the time. I don't have to talk about it all the time. It's not the only, like you said, it's not the only thing that I'm about. You know, I have many other aspects to my life. It's just that's one concept of it.
So what is your kink? If you had one, like we call it kink.
I mean,
what is your?
I consider myself more of a dom.
Okay.
And so, like, I like the idea of, you know, but I know people are weird about these terms. I say pleasure dom because I'm more about causing pleasure versus like pain. I'm not that sadistic that I have to
Yeah,
cause pain.
okay.
You know? Like, oh my god, I need to spank you. No, it's not that. It's like, oh, you're into that? Great, I'm going to do that for you because I know you like it. I know that you enjoy it.
Sure.
And then let's explore why you like it. Let's explore the level you want to take that to. And then let's explore anything else you want to do with it. Because I'm just here, like, let's have fun. You know, if you're gonna do this thing, then we're gonna do it safely and consensually, and we're gonna talk about it a lot because I want to make sure that I'm fulfilling what you need fulfilled. And I think that's my job in that role as a dom to be like, all right, well, I'm going to make sure that you're doing what you need to do. If my sub is there, like, I need to be disciplined because of X, Y, Z. Okay, we're gonna go down that road. If my sub is like, I'm more of a brat and I need to be put in my place, okay, then we're gonna explore that. It's gonna look a little different than this other person, you know. But it's. I was just speaking to somebody new lately, and she's not as experienced, but she's definitely curious about everything, and that almost scares me because I'm like, well, there's a lot of things you can say. I have no limits. She didn't say that, but when somebody says to me, I have no limits, that scares me more than somebody who says, I'm into this, 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 and this. because that tells me that you just want to try everything. And that's great that you want to try everything. You should try everything. But you should also understand that there's a certain limit to that. Like, if you're going to do ninth play or something like that, you should really be aware of the rest of it before you just go into it like that. But again, that's part of the conversation of like, okay, you say you have no limits, what does that mean? And then we go down that road, we have that conversation. I'm all about talking it to death because I want to make sure I fully understand before engaging in that kind of play with somebody. If it's a rope thing, okay, great. Have you ever been tied up before? Have you ever tried tying yourself up before? Has somebody ever tied you up before? What was your experience like? What did you get from it? And what did you like about it? What did you not like about it? What do you want to avoid? Have you been suspended? Because that is two very different things. Like if you're doing groundwork with rope, it's great, and maybe they really enjoyed that. But some people who are really good at groundwork can't be suspended because their body won't take it. So you learn as you go, very quickly.
Sure.
And that's why the people doing the rigging, either the rigger or the dom, the top, whatever you want to call it, has to be trained properly to understand the safety procedures, like what's going on. You have to recognize that there's going to be a nonverbal thing happening. Your sub isn't going to suddenly say, I'm going to pass out now. It doesn't ever happen that way. But it's more like, and you have to recognize they're dropping because that's a whole other ball of wax. Now, as a medical guy, I'm trained to handle that anyway, so I feel more confident in doing it.
Sure.
But, I've talked to many riggers who don't know what to do in that situation.
It's part of their learning process.
It's all part of the
right?
learning process.
Like
Yeah.
this,
I don't knock
everybody goes
anybody for
through
it.
the learning, and you get better as you practice
Yeah.
more.
Yeah.
I'm just curious, like, one of the things that I feel like this whole entire BDSM thing that everybody keeps referencing to. Honestly, like on the lower spectrum, BDSM is a man and a woman in a bed, and one of them is telling the other what to do.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah.
It's that simple.
Yeah.
Turn over, bend over,
Yeah.
suck me.
Someone is taking control.
Someone is in control.
Yeah.
And as far as I'm concerned, that's domination.
Sure.
Okay? It may not be as extreme as like the higher spectrum,
Yeah.
more advanced, more role play, more psychological, more all that stuff. But at its lowest, if two people are playing, someone is dominating the scene.
Yes.
Okay?
Yeah.
Someone is choking someone is whatever.
Yeah.
So they're not vanilla. There is no such thing as a vanilla. You are just as fucked up as I am. Okay?
Yeah.
You just live on a different spectrum
Yeah.
than I do. My pain tolerance is different than yours.
Sure.
You may take more pain than I can. I hate fucking pain.
I don't like it at all.
I hate giving it. I hate receiving it. Okay? So, but I understand why someone likes it. Like, no, I understand. I get it. Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah.
You like that feeling. You like something happened to you when you were a kid, and you like that feeling. Again, like, we're psychologically fucked up, but if we understand why we're psychologically fucked up, we're not really fucked up.
Yeah, you're processing. You're processing it, and just because you've now processed that trauma doesn't mean that's going to go away.
No, you do it in a healthy way.
Yeah, it means you have a better relationship.
BDSM actually, or the act of BDSM, whatever it is, impact or non-impact, psychological, whatever, heals our issues in a healthy way.
Yes.
Because now you want to beat somebody up, instead of beating someone that doesn't want to be beat up, find someone that does.
Yeah.
And actually enjoys it.
There's somebody out there.
Somebody out there who will say, please beat the shit out of me.
Yeah.
And learn how to do it in a healthy way.
Absolutely.
So you can do it over and over and over and over and not harm anybody in the process.
Yeah.
Okay, so if I'm like sexually, something happened where I feel like I need to hurt somebody, you don't have to go hunting that way and use somebody's, at their expense, to get your own pleasure satisfied.
Right.
Okay? I think it's a two-way street.
Absolutely.
And it's our responsibility to go find who's into what we are, because that's how we can release.
Yes.
And feel good and go to work happy and not stressed, and
Yeah.
because we are released.
Yeah.
And sometimes, yeah, you may have to do fire play, and that's your release. Sometimes it's electric wine. Sometimes it's a touch. Sometimes whatever it is, release it.
Exactly.
You know?
Yeah.
And be an advocate for others to release it.
Yes.
Versus us saying, no, you're a freak, don't do that.
Yeah. Because when we make something taboo, is simply because we don't understand it, we're scared of it, whatever. That's why everything gets thrown underground anyway.
Exactly.
You know, but you look at anything that's sort of come up in recent years, and it's great that people are talking about this. I had a conversation with a friend of mine, a commandant. She has very strong feelings about 50 Shades of Grey. I don't disagree with her. I think it was number one. I think it was a shitty movie. But number two, I think the concept of it.
It opened up eyes.
It opened up.
Who the fuck cares if it was good or bad?
But the book, the way it's done, it's
whatever.
It's I said all that aside.
Whatever.
All that, feel how you will, because it's subjective. It's art. Somebody wrote that. Somebody filmed it. Somebody
It
directed
opened up eyes.
It opened up eyes.
I love that.
Her argument was that, well, people got hurt from it too. I said, I know, but those people also learned from that as well.
Fuck yeah, they did.
And so I don't entirely hate it just for existing. I'm sorry for the people who got hurt doing it and did things the wrong way because of it. But I am glad that it sort of brought things to light. Because so many more people were now comfortable with saying, oh man, I like that. Or, oh wow, I'd really love to try that, honey. Can we try that? I mean, like, even if that's the thing that's not responsible for it, other people talking about it maybe those hushed whispers, like, did you see 50 Shades? Yeah, I saw it. Yeah. So, like, you have to, people just talking about it brings things to light.
Absolutely.
People are less scared of it. It's
Absolutely.
normalized.
Absolutely.
That's just where we are in society. Now,
Love
Brazil
that.
apparently is way ahead of us.
Brazil.
Open a dialogue, I believe.
Yeah, it did open up a
That's all.
dialogue, and that's just sometimes that's all we need is a
Yeah,
dialogue.
absolutely.
And I actually as far as I'm concerned, I'm 50 Shades of Maple Glen.
I never watched it.
The concept behind it was, I mean, the house was when it was listed on the MLS, it was tagged 50 Shades of Maple Glen.
Really?
Yeah,
And that's what, the house went viral because of the listing on MLS.
Yeah.
And the fact that such a movie can impact women in particular, right? To be curious, because they're the ones that are searching typically for things to do with their husbands or their partners, where they feel comfortable and they want to challenge their partner to, hey, do this. Let's try this, which is awesome. I love that. I fucking love that. And the house, in extension of what the movie did, there were a lot of success stories that came out of the house. Same concept where this house was the curious, where felt welcome to come over and find out what the fuck is going on and how do I get to the next level if I want to go to the next level, right? I want to feel safe and secure and whatnot while I'm exploring myself. That kind of also, you see those kind of stories that are just beautiful to see with couples and partners and whomever. Come in broken, come out fixed. And it's a proud thing for us. No different than the producers and the makers of the 50 Shades. I'm sure they're proud that they've made a dent in this. And someone there must be proud. I would.
And I don't disagree with you on that. As creatives, just to have a movie made at that level.
Yes.
There's this sense of pride and achievement there that not everybody gets to experience. So be proud that you got that done. Especially that kind of movie.
Right.
With that subject, that wasn't an easy sell. They probably got kicked out of a few rooms where they're like, "Cash, we can't."
I'm sure there was resistance, of course, but like the Tom Cruise and Nicole Kidman.
Oh, sure. Yeah.
Right. Eyes Wide Shut.
Yeah.
That also opened up eyes.
Sure.
It gave the mystery and all that stuff, the sexiness, yeah, I brought it to another level. I wish to continue in the trend of like promoting this in a way where positioning of the BDSM world or the lifestyle is not such a taboo and it's like turned around.
Good.
And now, like I'm hoping
Yeah.
that would become the trend where it's no longer a taboo.
Right.
Like in Brazil. Like, oh yeah, you're into ropes? Cool.
Yeah.
Like, you know, like
Yeah.
you're talking at work, whatever, like
Yeah.
whatever. I do like my dick sucked, you know,
Yeah.
I like blowjobs.
Right.
Right? Or I like this, or I like that.
Sure.
If you take it to the next level, I like to be roped, I like this, I like to be spanked.
Yeah.
There's nothing wrong with you saying that.
There's not, but because it is considered so taboo.
You should not be fired because of that.
You should definitely not be fired because of that.
Okay.
That man was, in my opinion, was unjust.
Because I understand, like, I'm a business owner. I lead teams. I have hundreds of people that work with me, with us. If somebody has a lifestyle of some sort, why would I not hire them if they're the most qualified person to do that fucking job?
There you go.
You know, they're not gonna fuck me on the set,
No.
right?
They might approach you at some point.
After work, you
Yeah.
know, like, and I've been approached by my clients.
Yeah.
After work, hey, can you tell me more about this?
Mm-hmm.
Can you tell me more about that? You know, like, I want to learn. Like, how is it? Or somebody gets fired from a company, not from this, just
Yeah.
like they get, or whatever. They leave, whatever.
Sure.
After they leave their company, I'm getting phone calls or text messages or whatever about something that they're doing that they're going to get involved in on like some kind of sex industry.
Right.
And they're coming from corporate America.
Yeah.
So there's plenty of us.
Oh, 100%. Yeah.
And leadership should have, like, now the DE&I should put in BDSM in there at the end of it. DE&I BS. You know, like, hey, you're embraced.
That'll be the next step.
I hope we're still alive when that happens. I hope it happens on our time. Where everybody now is just like walking around in their leather
Sure.
paraphernalia, going into meetings,
Right.
all dressed up like,
Hey, Bob,
you
your
know, dominatrixes and shit.
Yeah, your collar looks a little tight.
Yeah,
That's
like,
how
why
my
not?
mistress wants
I
it.
think
Yeah.
meetings will be much more productive.
Oh, it'd be great.
Totally,
Yeah.
like to decide on the next product that knows to go out.
Yeah.
You know who the dominatrixes are. You
Right.
know who the whatever the brats are.
If you know that
they're all sitting down and they're all dressed in one dressed in a unicorn. You know, like,
here's a furry just leaving a meeting.
whatever.
Yeah, why not?
Self-expression is the most. We did it in high school. We
Yeah.
did it when we were growing up.
But
Self-expression. Why did we stop when we get jobs?
Because we had to be normal. Because we had to
Fuck
fit in.
normal.
Yeah.
Like when we
Yeah.
have jobs, no, we have to be like,
We have
tone
to
it
be
down.
boring all of a
Tone
sudden,
it down.
yes.
Fuck that.
Yeah.
Fuck
My,
that.
my son said something very interesting the other day because he was getting his senior pictures taken, and he sent me a picture from he's in his suit and everything, and he knew I was working, and I was a little bummed out. He's like, I knew you were working, I didn't want to bother you with how to tie this tie. I'm like, dude, you know you can I would have gladly gotten on a video call with you if not driven over
Sure.
and taught you how to tie the tie.
Right.
I said, but did you ever think about not wearing the tie?
Right.
He's like, I didn't think I was allowed. I'm like, you can do
Whatever
hell
the fuck you want.
You can be the only senior with no tie
Yes.
in your whole picture, and they can't say anything about it.
No.
It's not like you have to. He's like, I kind of didn't think about that. And the kid is annoyingly, he looks great no matter what he wears. He's that kid, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, I'm a little biased because I'm his dad, but still, it's a lot of people have said it. But he looked great with the suit, the tie on, and everything. And he goes to Dollar Tree and he makes this little Instagram post. And he's like, being an adult is going to the Dollar Tree in a suit and acting like you own the place.
Very nice.
I love it. You're
Yes.
great. This is fantastic. But
That's
it's
great.
true. We stop being kids at a certain point, and that's when we sort of limit our self-expression. What I love about this newer generation coming up is they have zero of that. They give zero fucks. It seems for the most part. They get out of high school and it gets better. They get out of college, it's like, yeah, this is who I am, whatever. And I change my look 50 times and I don't give a fuck what you think about it. Like, that's fantastic. I think it's great. We all sort of do this thing. I would dress like this every day if I could. I mean, like, it'd be a little hot right now because of the fucking heat that we're going through, but it's just like, I'm comfortable in
Be
this.
you.
Yeah,
Just be you.
exactly.
And we don't want to break the norm, or we're afraid to break the norm
Sure.
because being judged, being shamed, being labeled that, oh, look at them, they want the attention, etc., being misunderstood. No, it's just self-expression.
And I'm not saying go to work with your junk hanging out.
Why not?
Well, because in a way, I mean,
They do it in some tribes.
sure,
all right?
sure.
Back in 300,000 years ago, we did sit at a meeting with our junk out. They did. Hey, who's going out hunting today? You know?
You're right.
They had a whiteboard and everything.
I think there's a certain level, and this is where it goes more to the consent thing. And I know we're joking, but it's like if you are going out with your drunk hanging out because you're a nudist, right? Like you're expressing yourself. That's who you are. That's what you believe. That's cool. However, you're also asking others to engage in your thing without their consent. So I understand that to a certain point where it's like, you know what? I didn't want to see that today. I didn't really want to see any of that today. I just want to go about my day and drink my coffee and go to work and fucking go home. But now this guy's sitting on the bus next to me and he's got his balls hanging out and like, you know, that's disconcerting to me. Okay, I get that. That's not your thing. Like, I'm not saying be mean to the guy. The guy should
Would you feel the same way at a nudist beach?
I've been to many nudist beaches.
I'm saying, would you feel the same? No, right?
Not at all.
Because that's a area
It's
where
an
it's
area-
understood.
Because you're walking
This is
into
where
that-
you're gonna
exactly.
be. Blah blah
I'm
blah.
walking into that area.
I
I'm
understand
like, that's
completely.
cool.
Like there's a
Yeah.
decorum where we have to keep.
Sure.
Beyond that, it's like okay,
Yeah.
now you're going
Just
over
some
the
other
top.
rules and,
I
like,
understand.
yeah,
There has
yeah.
to be some decorum.
Some decorum. But I'm not saying don't
But-
let your free flag fly. I'm just saying
But you can wear a speedo.
Sure.
All right, let's find a happy medium.
So
Okay,
instead of being assless chaps, balls
Exactly.
out,
You know,
You
like,
have
like Will
a
Ferrell on
speedo.
Saturday Night Live when he did the thing, right?
Yeah, exactly.
I think that's fantastic.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, meetings would be much more productive now.
They certainly would. And you never know.
Because I will be more intrigued about you,
Yeah.
that I want to know more about you, that I'll actually fall in love with you.
Right.
Versus becoming your foe in a meeting. Oh, look how like stuffy you are in that suit.
Right. Like you're obviously uncomfortable.
Because I can't tell who the fuck you are.
Yeah, because you're
We
blending
can't
in.
tell who we are if we all look the same.
Right.
I can't tell who you are.
I've learned this about myself recently that number one, the things I shoot, I don't want it to look like anybody else's shit. Occasionally, I'll unintentionally do something that's already been done, or I'll you know, because it's in your head, somewhere in the back of your head, you've seen this thing, so you're you know somehow informed by it, and therefore it comes out in your work, maybe subconsciously or otherwise. But there's a photographer in my area who, for years, I didn't realize I was sort of unintentionally mimicking his style. I really liked it. And it was in the back of my head. I'm like, oh my god, this is just like his shit. Like all my stuff looks like his shit. And he said, he's like, I didn't think for 1 second that you were trying to copy me. He's like, there's people who try to copy me, and I call them out on it. You're not one of those people. You have your own expression, you have your own composition, you have your own way of doing things. I didn't for 1 minute think that you were trying to like at all infringe on me. And I said, thank you for realizing that. He's like, there's a fine line between, you know, imitation and an homage, I guess, or even just subconsciously doing something. It's like when musicians get called out for copying other people's, you know, harmonies or anything. I don't think that everybody does that intentionally. I think there's always
Sometimes they do, sometimes they don't.
Sometimes, sure.
Whatever,
Not everybody.
yeah.
I think sometimes it's
Sometimes it's original,
It's-
whatever comes to your mind,
Exactly.
but somebody already did it. Doesn't mean that it's not original.
you can only put chords together in so many different ways. Like there's only so many combinations, and eventually it's going to come out twice.
As long, yeah.
But far off the point I was trying to make is you know, yeah, we don't want to be so all together in the same thing. Little houses, little boxes on the hillside, you know, made of ticky tacky. Right?
Yeah.
We want to be our own people.
Yeah.
I was raised by hippies. I was raised to be individual.
That's cool.
And
You're
and
lucky.
eccentric. I was, but you know what? Here's the thing. All children will rebel against their parents in some
Sure.
way, right? How do I rebel against hippies? You become normal.
No, you didn't become normal. You just experienced something different. Okay? And then you probably, at some point, you decide which way you want to go.
I like that.
Okay? And that's our part of our life. We decide based on our experiences. Okay, you know, you probably at some point implemented a lot of the practices that your parents already have.
Oh yeah.
subconsciously,
Yeah.
as you grow older,
100%.
you start to understand life more.
Yeah.
You start doing more drugs. You whatever. You start to get to where they are.
Yeah.
When you entered their life,
Yeah.
they've been through shit.
Yeah.
Okay, now you're going through what they went through, and now you're like, you know what? They had it right. They're chill.
They
They're
did.
cool.
I mean, it's so funny.
I love that.
Yeah, it's one of those things where my sister embraced it sooner than I did.
Okay.
But I had to go through that thing, and then like both my parents are gone for over 20 years now. But like I still chuckle to myself when I do something or say something that one of my parents did or said. Like just the other day, I said something that my dad used to say all the time, and I was like, motherfucker.
Yeah.
Like, oh wow, and it's a good positive thing because you're right. You're emulating what the best things are.
Yeah.
And if you can identify, I mean that goes back to processing trauma and everything like that. But you can identify those bad things and process them in a healthy way.
Yeah.
That's great. You know, are you seeking this? Are you seeking that? How do you do it? You know, who you brought into your life to help you do it in whatever way, sexual or not.
Right.
I'm just saying, like you find that you find bosses, you find coworkers, you find friends, you find family along the way that will somehow inform your behavior.
Yes.
You know, and you find it.
And we're allowed to change our minds.
We're 100%. That's the.
We're allowed. We should. And we
time.
should not be judged for past experiences that we made mistakes.
Absolutely.
Because that's the only way we learn is from our mistakes. It doesn't define you. Your mistakes do not define you.
Right. If
Okay.
you learn from your mistakes, move on.
Yeah.
Move on. You know, God forbid you make one that's so egregious somebody else got hurt. I hope you can learn from that too. I hope you don't stay in that moment and live in that moment. I hope you can find a way to move on from that and you know, get to where you need to go. But everybody's experiences are different. Everybody processes shit differently.
Yes.
You have to meet them where they're at sometimes and help them along the way. In the case of that stuff I was talking about, through talking to her more, I realized how much shit she has.
Yeah.
And I'm like, and then she's told me this is what's happened to you before. I'm like, okay, well, guess what? We're just not going to do that. You tried that, it didn't work. Not to say we're not going to try something similar, but we're not going to do that. Because obviously the experience wasn't good. Why would I put you through it? So
I don't know. Okay.
I mean, depending on the situation.
Well, the thing is, again, like you go to a restaurant, you have a great experience. Next day, you go to the same restaurant, you have a bad experience. So which restaurant? Good or bad?
That's a good
I
question.
think you need to try it to verify like everything else. Like I think you need to try it one more time.
Well, in particular,
learn from
yeah.
what you did wrong.
Yeah.
Maybe the next experience could be great.
Sure.
If you, again, from learning your mistakes of what was bad, okay, how would I do it to do something different? If you're repeating the same thing over again, and yeah.
Sure. Yeah. I was speaking more so to like severely traumatic things that have happened, and we're like not going to do that.
Okay.
You know, but yeah, it's just,
You know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about. Yeah, because if talking about your anal hook experience, you know.
Sure.
I'm not saying you should go do it again if you want to. You decided you don't.
Somebody
want to.
has to really do a good sales
Somebody
job
has
to get me to do it again. I mean, I'll do it again under certain circumstances,
Right.
but it's like a 90% no.
Yeah.
All right, like I'll leave it 10% open.
Because never say never.
You never know.
Yeah.
Okay, under the right circumstances, again, maybe it'll happen.
You never know.
You never know. I'm not.
Priscilla could be like, listen, I
I
got
don't know,
you.
I've been trying to explore.
I have a friend
It's
who's
like-
like, dude, prostate fucking orgasms are
Yeah.
great.
Yeah.
He's like, forget about it.
I'll never
I
feel
don't want
one
to
in
feel
my
that.
life.
This is so funny you mentioned this because I was going through something similar recently, and I had mentioned to my friend the commandant. She's a pro lifestyle dom. She does this for a living, and she was trying to explain to me. She's like, so what are you doing? And I was explaining her what I was doing. She's like, are you just doing this because you feel like you need to do this? I'm like, I said I'm doing it because I want to experience it. She's like, you're going about this all like methodically and mechanically. It's not. It's like you're forcing the experience. Of course, you're not going to enjoy it. I said, yeah, that's a good point. She's like, just get with somebody who's actually gonna like do it for you, and do it right, and maybe you'll have a completely different experience. To the point, good restaurant, bad restaurant, the same restaurant. You know, it's a very strange thing, and I said, yeah, you're right. She's like, next time, maybe you'll let me do it because I know what I'm doing. I said, oh, maybe we'll see. We'll see how it goes.
We've had great experiences here.
Yeah.
We've had bad experiences here.
Sure.
It depends on the
Yeah.
moment, depends on the energy, depends on the.
Let's go back to that for a second, because like we have good and bad experiences here, as with anywhere.
Yeah.
Like, how do you handle the bad experiences? You know, like, who comes away from this saying like, oh man, I had a bad experience? It's not because of the place?
Not the people, us.
You?
Yeah, me
Okay.
personally. Personally, from the people coming here, hardly anybody leaves not happy.
Good.
Not because of happy endings or anything. I'm just like they're not. They're happy, you know.
Yeah.
Like they leave with a smile on their face.
Yeah.
They feel accepted, loved, and everything. From hosting parties, sometimes you go through situations where you know you're dealing with stuff. You know, it's a party house,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah. Situations
And,
arise.
Yeah, situations arise, and you need to kind of attend to them. So it's. I was speaking from a personal experience, not like people coming here having bad experiences. How do we deal with bad experience? Again, it depends on like what is bad. You know, like nothing in terms of sexuality has anything really. We had one bad incident where people were not sober, and an incident happened where someone did something to someone, and the other person did something to the other person without consent, and there was a little friction going on between them that we had to kind of address. That was really the one bad experience we had in 6 years that I can recall.
Okay.
Typically, people when they come here, they have to go through the rules. They have to understand what they're walking into, agree to the terms, whatever. And any issues that arise in terms of like maybe somebody may touch someone without consent, like put their hand on them or touch their ass or whatever, right? Correction happens immediately. Meaning, did you ask for consent? No. Can you please don't do it again? Yes.
Apologies are made.
Of course.
Yeah, people are.
And then it's dealt with.
Yeah.
Done. You understand you're not in a place where everybody is an object for you to come and touch. That's not the case. You still have to be, have some decorum.
Yeah, respect.
And have some respect. Okay? Yeah, it's
That's
communication, talk, whatever. Rejection is
Someone's
okay.
wearing a sign that says, you may touch me and do anything you want.
Yeah, and the thing is, we always say, don't come here with an agenda.
Yeah.
Okay? Don't come here thinking you're going to get your dick wet. You're going to fail.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah.
You're welcome to try.
Respectfully.
Exactly. Like within the rules. Like it's like you're going to a club, you're going to whatever, you're meeting people.
Yeah.
Okay, but this place allows you to have the chance to, it's a sex positive place. Meaning if you get lucky, good for you.
Sure.
Great, go ahead. Have fun.
Yeah.
But don't come here, oh, I'm going to MXS to go fuck. That's not what we invite you here for.
Yeah.
We invite you to come to our parties. You want to just like fuck? Okay, great. It smells great. It looks great. The lighting is perfect.
Yeah.
The music, the beds, the whatever. Like
You
it
pass
feels
the vibe
comfortable.
check, as the kids say.
You walk in here, you want to just get naked.
Yeah.
Right? That's not our problem.
Yeah.
Sorry that the house is so sexy.
Yeah.
Okay? It doesn't mean that it's a sex house.
Right.
We're not a sex house. Sex happens? Yes. Sure. Fuck yeah.
Of course.
But,
How's it true?
huh?
How's it true?
Whatever, yeah. And,
Very healthy
you know, please clean after yourselves.
Yeah. Use a chip bag.
You know?
I've walked the house. I've seen. We're gonna do a video tour after this, and it's gonna be inserted
Sure.
into this somewhere.
Yeah.
But I've seen the house. It's gorgeous. It
Thank
is
you.
set up for just you want to walk in, and you really do just want to find a place to fucking like. It's amazing. It does. The vibe is just you walk in, and you just want to relax.
Yep.
You relax, and you become open to everything. You're enamored by everything. You walk in with who you're with. Or maybe you're meeting somebody here, prearranged or otherwise, I don't know.
We can arrange for stuff, sure. Like some people will call us and say, hey, can we arrange for a gangbang?
Okay. And you're like, yeah.
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 Why not? Like
Yeah.
if that's something that you want to experience and whatnot.
Sure.
Yeah, and just hit us up and we'll figure it out. And
Yeah. Let it happen.
we have private parties, soirees. It's not always open to the public. It's not always 50 people. It's not always or 75 or whatever. It's not organized that way. It's not publicized. It's
You do like open house meet and greet kind of things.
our own private life. Like it's our friends and whatever. And
Yeah.
people come over and hanging out, chilling, smoking here, and relaxing. And it's again like it's not always that you come here. It's sex.
Yeah.
It's like anybody's house. We're a family. My kid lives here.
Yeah.
On, off, sometimes when we want to throw parties and open it to the public, that's your meet and greet kind of thing.
And then a lot of new people come.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
hang out, whether it's Halloween party, whether it's New Year's Eve, whether it's Valentine's Day, casino night. Just fun, quirky, different. We had like kinky rabbits where everybody had to dress up like something with an element of a rabbit
Nice.
to come here for Halloween one year. Another year we did like a prison themed party.
Escape the house.
We did an escape the house, fuck your way out party.
I don't know. Let's go back. I need to know more about that. real
Escape
quick.
the house, fuck your way out.
Yeah.
That was fun.
So give me the rundown.
So the concept behind it was like escape the room,
Okay.
right? Your first clue starts at the cage. When the guests come in, that's the first clue you get.
Yeah.
You're now have to find what the fuck it is. There are we put 10 QR codes taped underneath the bed where the cage is. So you have to crawl through the cage to see the QR codes that will lead you to these different challenges that will teach you about how to make a woman squirt, for example, like a clip video of how to make a woman squirt, how to do sensory play, like you have to go to the station and use the electric wand, how to use candle wax. So you experiment.
So
And
there's
you go
an
to the
educational
stations.
aspect
You have
to
to
it.
you have to finish all these different things. You and
Yeah.
your partner or whomever.
Yeah.
And as you complete them, there's no actual fucking,
Oh,
but it's an
it's a good
educational
time.
kind of way, cute, funny.
It's great.
They all
uh,
interact
yeah,
with each other.
they interact with
they
each
have
other,
fun.
find out what is this, how to do this, where is the place, and like we hide clues and
Yeah.
stuff like that.
I love this.
It was
Please
funny.
invite me to the next one. I want to be
We're
there.
we did it once. I think we had like what 30 people that came,
Wow.
and nobody did the fucking thing.
Yeah.
Like they did 3 because they were all just doing it
Yeah.
without even like going through the.
They just found it.
They just they're
"Oh,
like,
I'm
hey,
gonna
come
do
on, let's
this
just
thing,"
fucking do this. People putting themselves in the box, whatever, blindfolding themselves, and it's again, you don't get naked, you don't nothing.
Yeah.
It's just adults having fun and
That's
learning
great,
and food and drinks, and whatever.
Yeah,
It's, then casino night, we actually hire a casino rental company that comes over and they bring out all the casino tables and their dealers, and it's a fun experience. You know, you buy in and you get 2,000 chips. We give away awards for, you know, earnings, right? Like if you get $20,000 worth of winnings, maybe you'll win a city,
Okay.
right? It's
That's
$1,500.
It's not a bad gig.
Fuck no, it's not a
Right.
bad thing,
That's
right?
not a bad thing at
Yeah,
all.
so being $1,500 to
Yeah.
win it.
Shoot, I take
Now
that.
you got to win a lot of fucking cash.
I bet.
Alright. But
yeah,
all right,
yeah,
dildos, you know, giveaways,
sure.
whatever. Like
Fun
we, you know,
shit.
people sponsor, they send us their furniture or whatever, and we donate it, or they donate stuff, and
Yeah,
we, you know, it's a giveaway for
Absolutely.
winnings. And, what else?
I have so many ideas just from walking through your place of things that I would want to do.
Sure.
Not just sexually, but I mean like things that I would want to produce and throw in here, like little things, little either education things.
Yeah, the house is available for rent. Like
Yeah.
you can rent the house, have your own event,
Yeah.
whatever you want. I mean,
Yeah.
it's an Airbnb business, so
Yeah.
or used to be on Airbnb. Now it's if you want to have an event here, it's available. It's a venue that you can definitely host something if you like.
So the takeaway from all this is that, you know, the house exists to educate, to entertain, to help bring things out of that taboo
Sure.
mindset, and to basically, you know, it's a sex positive place.
Yeah, a content house, and right now the MXS Live
Yeah.
kind of thing.
So yeah, I want to talk a little bit about that too, but I want to take a little break before we get into
Sure.
that. So
You want to set up the cameras?
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're gonna do
I'll make a
so-
cigarette.
Yes, make a cigarette. We're gonna be right back, and we're gonna talk about MXS Live.
Hell yeah.
Okay, so we're back after having a guided tour of this incredible home that you guys put so much thought and love and everything into, and there's a next phase coming to Maison XS. This is exciting, actually. Personally speaking, I love this idea, but I want you guys to tell me all about it. I'm talking about now. It's more of it's been a content house. You can come here and film, but you're talking about an actual video production company, basically, yeah. Or
Something
explain.
like that, yeah.
Yeah, give me the rundown.
A lot of our friends are in the sex industry, of course, sex workers, and I've noticed many of them are struggling to come out and earn money. An average OnlyFans talent makes about $300 a month.
Yep.
Unfortunately, I noticed that they depend on themselves to promote themselves and advertise themselves and create content. And we have friends that are on. We have many friends that are OnlyFans, and I notice how much they're struggling, seeing the successes of others, and they're trying to repeat it and whatnot. MXS Live is supposed to help the talent shine. The style of the films is basically you being you here, and we're just capturing your moments here, your natural self, what you do with someone that you know or someone you meet here or whatever, and capturing that human interaction and the experience, sexual or not. Most of the time it will be definitely sexual. but also the interaction between the people is as sexy sometimes as it is the actual act. And the films are a variety of different people, different things that happen here, and the ultimate promise is to take that content, create it, publish it, promote it, drive traffic to it, and it's a royalty-based system model where the talent receives royalty until they die from the content.
Wow.
Like an artist should.
Sure. Yeah.
Today, in today's market and in the porn industry and the adult film industry, the talent are abused. Okay, they get paid minimal rates, and the production houses make millions of dollars off of their back. I think the paradigm should be reversed, where the talent has the control, the ultimate control. They're the performers. They're the ones who are putting their life on the line. They're the ones who are, in front of the camera, trying to entertain others. And MXS Live is giving the talent that are in the films 70 cents on the dollar from whatever revenue the film makes.
Yeah.
So, hypothetically speaking, two people in a scene,
Sure.
a husband and a wife, couple, whatever.
Yeah.
They're comfortable in performing, but they don't want to show their faces. Fine, great, wonderful.
Yeah.
But we can still capture their essence, their body language, their interaction, a touch, or whatever, and present it in a very sexy, artistic way that's more docu-style. And hopefully kind of change the way porn is produced too, to make it a little bit more artsy
Yeah.
than it is bright lights and I don't fuck with bright lights on.
Yeah.
Who the fuck does that? Why are you showing me people in bright lights?
Yeah.
Nobody fucking set the mood, man.
Yeah.
You know, bring some art into it.
Yeah.
There's
And this thing is unscripted. So you come here, there's no line, there's nothing. It's you being you.
You're not showing up with the pizza box.
We're not doing none of that. If you do come up with a pizza box, then you come. Hey, listen, pizza delivery people have to make some money.
That's right.
Okay, so if they sign up and they bring in pizza, and the scene turns out that way, hey,
why not?
it wasn't scripted that way.
Yeah.
All right, but it's beautiful to see something like this actually materialize in real life.
Yeah.
And that's what we're trying to capture here.
I love that.
I have a few films that we cannot be published, but they're dope as fuck. The people that watched it privately, and even the talent, and it's better than someone said it's better than fucking porn, and that was a woman that watched it. To me, that was I was like, holy shit. I'm also, in the way we capture the film, there's an element where you don't want it to feel too highly produced.
Right.
You want to still feel like it's real. So the camera work, the lighting, you feel like you're here.
Yeah.
And like I'm using the tube light and my camera, and this is what I'm doing. This is it. I don't know. I'm not setting up lights. I'm not none of that. It's if you walk right now, you have a partner, you want to rope her or whatnot.
Yeah.
I'm just grabbing my tube light and I'm capturing your time with your partner.
Right.
That's all we're doing. Taking it into post, cutting it, blah blah blah, creating promos, pushing online, advertise, drive traffic. You're collecting 70 cents on the dollar. Well, actually, the two of you will be collecting 30. We'll be splitting the 70 cents.
Yeah. Which is still more than a fair cut than a lot of people are getting.
Fuck yeah.
Yeah,
You get
that's-
100,000 views.
Yeah.
Do the math.
Yeah.
So it's a tipping system.
Okay.
So you're tipping the cast.
Nice.
To view a clip, it's $1.
Okay.
And after that, you have, right now we're working on it like a pay-per-view.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a 24-hour access to that clip, and then you have to pay another $1 to see it again. You don't download it or whatever.
Yeah. You can't steal these off the site and go take them somewhere else.
No.
Right.
And the tipping system is really rewarding the talent for their work.
But it's not like OnlyFans where somebody's messaging you saying, "Hey, send me $10 and I'll send you more," or it's not like you have to pay this minimal price per month. Or
No subscription yet. There's no plan on that. I don't. Again, we're evolving.
Yeah.
Okay, we're gonna definitely listen to our fans and see what their needs are. Right now, at the simplest platform, you enter the site. You have access to all whatever production we produce. So far, we're casting talent, so we can at least have some kind of a library to launch with.
Right.
At least,
Yeah, I've seen your ads all over the place. For
right.
that.
So we do have some content, but it's not enough to launch with yet.
Right.
The proof of concept of the videos, the films that were created, the better than porn ones, as far as we are concerned, we can replicate that with so many different talent that can join MXS Live.
The thing that sets you apart from the other streaming platforms is that there's really no personal interaction. I know this from signing up for the OnlyFans, Loyal Fans, all these guys. Myself, thinking to myself, how am I going to shoot all this stuff, edit all this stuff, distribute all this stuff, promo all this stuff? I have to do everything myself.
You should be creating. That's your job. With MXS Live, the only thing that you'll be doing is just coming here, having fun, we film it, we take care of the editing, we take care of the publishing, we take care of advertising, marketing.
Yeah.
Our job is to bring as much traffic to your film as possible. Now, we would provide you with the same material, promotional material, for you to use on your own platform to push traffic to MXS Live, because you'll be earning money.
Right.
Okay, so, but you're not obligated to do that either. Like, if you don't want to promote it, you don't have to.
Sure.
We're doing the job for you already.
It would behoove those involved.
It's up to you.
Yeah.
Okay? It's up to you.
Yeah.
There's no obligation for you to do that.
Right.
Is it something good for you? Fuck yeah. Duh.
Yeah.
Views
Views equal money, guys. That's it.
Right. And driving traffic to MXS Live only guarantees that more people are most likely will watch your clip when somebody else is promoting MXS Live. So they're going to come and land. Everybody's going to be making money. And everybody will be happy and comfortable and whatnot. I'm hoping that the amount of kind of publicity and the whole entire thing will be embraced by everybody, because they now understand that the money's going towards the talent.
Yeah.
Directly to the talent.
Yeah.
It's not the production house. That's
right.
We're like I don't know how to define MXS Live other than you called it a video production house.
Yeah.
I guess it's a combination of a video production house, but with an advertising, marketing capability and strategy, and talent management. And, Does that make sense?
Absolutely makes sense, and I applaud you for it, because you're basically trying to change the way that things are done because you recognize the need for it, and I couldn't agree with you more. Just from talking to the same, I'm sure we have some mutual friends, but my own friends who are all either cam people or they stream, they go through the same thing, the same struggle, and I love that you put out most OnlyFans people are only making about $300 average.
Yeah.
Some are less.
Yeah,
and
they're putting a lot of fucking work into it.
A lot of work. You got to do it every single day. Every single day.
Yeah, and they don't know how to do it.
No, and it's frustrating. And then it becomes a chore. So now this thing that you love doing, that you started doing and thinking like, okay, I can make some cash doing this. Now it's tedious, and now you don't want to do it. And now it's just this.
And you're lost, and you're abused, and you're being objectified, and all the bad things that you should not go through.
Right. Exactly. So, on behalf of all sex workers everywhere, thank you for